Hello and welcome to my channel. So today I'm doing a bit of product photography. The weather is absolutely awful outside, so I thought let's do some photography indoors. So I've set up a background, I've ironed it so there's no creases in it. I've got studio lights set up, I've got 4 lights set up around me. I'm using this tripod that I demonstrated on a previous video from KNF Concept, who were kind enough to send it to me for review. Well, today I'm going to be photographing one of their other products. Actually, it's a sling bag, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about the sling bag as we go through the video, but let's just tell you about my setup. I've got the Canon M50 Mark II, and on here I've mounted the Sigma 30mm prime lens. Now this is a great lens for this type of thing because it's very sharp. We can open the aperture if we do want to, you know, really get that blurry background, but in this case I probably want a much deeper depth of field. I want to take photos of this sling bag down here. The tripod, I've got it quite high because this is 30mm, so the camera is about at my height, and this then goes down to a table. If I show you, it's just down here, so it's about, you know, what have we got, probably about 1 meter high. So this is just great for this 30mm lens. Now with the Canon M50 Mark II, we've got a fully articulating screen, so I can bring that round to face me, which means I can, you know, touch it if I want to focus anywhere. At the moment I'm taking a video with it. If I was showing this product, you know, I've got it facing down and I can just turn this round, and I'm going to show you a bit more about the product in a moment. Here it is here. It's a lovely sling bag. Again, I chose this for my particular need, so it was quite good that KNF Concept let me have the one that I chose to review, because I'm definitely going to be using this one. So I've just like the tripods that I'm using here, I did a lot of research before I actually chose the one that I wanted, and this is absolutely brilliant. So let's just look at the setup first. I want to take a downward shot with their label at the front, so I'm just lining it up like this. I'm going to get the sling just round the back of it. In fact, I'm not bothered about the sling just yet. Let's hide that out the way. There we go. Bring the label in. If I can get the label in. There we go. Just line it all up nicely. I've got a nice white background on here, so there's no other distractions other than the product. So now what I'm going to do is put this into AV mode. So let's just stop recording for a second, put it into AV mode, just like that. So I've got 100 ISO on here, and at the moment it's f1.4. Well, I don't really want that, so I'm just going to adjust that so we've got a much deeper depth of field. Let's make that about f10 or f11 actually. That should do, because I'm not worried about how slow the shutter is because it's on a tripod. So the main thing is, let's just make sure we've got a few second delay in our timer. So I'm going to put a 10-second timer on this because the tripod's quite high and it's out on this pole, so I want it to, you know, really be still when it does take the photo. And again, I haven't actually set my remote up on this, which I can do. It's okay doing it like this. So let's just see what sort of shutter speed that gives me. So that gives me 1/4 of a second. Well, that's fine for this. So let's just take this photo. You can see it wobbling about, so you definitely need 10 seconds for this to slow down, and that's now timing through the 10 seconds. And that's just taken the photo. So I'm pretty happy with that. We've got a nice white background around here and we can see the product, but we want to try and get a few different angles on this. So let's stand this up so we can actually look down on it, and again I'm just focusing in the middle. I've got it all lined up nicely on here, and we're going to just take that photo again. 10 seconds, gives it time just to steady off. Another couple of seconds, here we go, and that's just taken that photo. So quite happy about that. Probably let's undo this. You can see I haven't used it yet, so I'm just going to take this, line the sling up. Just want to bring the make of the bag in, which is the K&F concept label, so we can actually see that it's from them. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter what way up this is, because I can obviously swap it around in post. Let's just make sure this sling is all okay. In fact, I'm just going to plug that in, just lay it nicely behind it. That should do. And then take that photo. So we're just getting a few different angles really, and different shots. We're on the 10-second timer still. I'm quite happy about that. So that's taken that. So let's now take one on this side, because on this side we've got the K&F concept logo and name. So we'll have that lined up nicely. So I'm quite happy about that. I've got my grid lines on so I can actually line it up properly, because it's a bit difficult with just a white background to whether you've got it slightly off at an angle. So, because interestingly, with the camera facing down this way, I can't quite get this articulating screen exactly straight. So I'm going to take another shot down like that. Again, 10 seconds. There we go. So we've now got a shot going down, we've got a shot on the top of this and a shot on this side. So now what I want to do is take a shot inside the bag. So let's just open the main compartment of the bag, and of course that's quite dark in there. So what I'm going to do, in fact let's just show you, let's put the video back on. Because I want to take a photo inside the bag, and there's quite a lot of shadows inside the bag, we are indoors, then what I need to do is get some light in there. So I've put a light just coming in over the top. I've just got this smaller LED light over the top, and then I've got a handheld which I'm just going to hold over the top, and I'm also overexposing by about 2 stops. Let's just check if we can go down a bit. Yeah, overexposing by say 1 1/3 stop. And I've put this on manual focus because it was having a few problems focusing, so I'll put it on manual focus, and we're now videoing this so I can point inside the bag. We've got 3 compartments in this bag, which again I'm going to talk about in a moment in a bit more depth. But to get the shot, let's just turn the video off and now turn this round to AV. Actually, I'm going to put this one on manual. I've got the aperture on about 5. Shutter speed, we can move that right down. It's focusing okay with the camera, but it was having a few problems with the actual video. So now let's just get that. Just going to hold this light over the top. So we're on about 1/6 of a second at f5.0. So let's just take that shot. Remember, we're on a 10-second timer, because that really does need to stop moving about. There we go, that's okay. We've got a nice shot there with some extra lights going on to show inside the bag. Okay, so what we want to do now is have a look at this bag, because it is an excellent bag. We've taken a few photos which hopefully you've seen, and I'll show them again a bit later. The reason I wanted this particular bag was because I've actually got the Peak design, the 6 litre, the middle size one, and I was looking at the larger one, and then I came across K&F concept, which has this particular one, which is a 10 litre. So I thought, this is a much better price. I mean, far better price. Now I won't give you the price now, because you could be watching this in a year's time, but I can tell you it is much cheaper than the Peak design. And if in fact, if you are interested in this, I have got a link in the description below where you will get a discount as well. So, you know, have a look at that to see what your discount is. The interesting thing is, even though I've got the 6 litre and this is 10 litre, they actually look very similar in size. But when you start looking deeper into both of them, this one is definitely bigger. It's just the width of it from left to right this way, the width of it along here just looks about the same. And even the depth of it from top to bottom feels much the same, but the width of it this way, or the depth from front to back, this one does expand and is much softer and more pliable to get your gear in. And that's what I wanted. I wanted something to be travelling, and I am going out doing some more travelling soon, and I wanted a bag that if I wanted to, I could fold this bag up nice and small into my rucksack and have my camera gear in the rucksack. But then if I wanted to use it as a sling, I could pull it out and use it, and this is absolutely ideal. And also the pockets seem much easier to use. So let's have a little look at what we've got. We've got this main compartment here that we've had a look at earlier, but let's just go through it. This zip at the front gives us a nice storage space. Yeah, they've got one of these key things here that you can hang your keys on. Not sure if I'm going to use that, but you never know. But the good thing is also for your batteries, I don't know if you can see that if I just turn it over. Let's just bring these pockets out. What you can see here is a couple of compartments for batteries, and one's red and one's green, so you could put your live battery in the green and your battery that's discharged in the red, so you don't get them mixed up. Then in addition, there is another pocket exactly the same size at the end that hasn't got a label on it or a colour, and then inside we've got this zip here, which I will probably use for maybe my passport or something like that, because I think I'm going to go with I probably will be going with a rucksack and my sling bag, to be honest. I travel quite light, so I won't be taking a suitcase. That's that pocket, and compared with the Peak design, that's so much easier to use. The Peak design is a bit tight to get your phone in and that type of thing. Now, let's do this one up. Let's go to the pocket at the other side. We've got one just here, and again, that's the one that's going to be closest to your body, so maybe you could put your phone or your money in there. It's sort of up to you how you use it, really. But that's a nice neat pocket. It's also got a carry handle just here, which is quite nice, so you can hold that. Now, probably a bit small for some suitcases to get that over the top of the suitcase handle, but to be honest, this is such a small bag I probably wouldn't want to carry it on my suitcase anyway, on my cabin bag. Now if we have a look inside the main compartment, this is something else I like about this, is in here we've got a compartment that actually comes out. It's all velcroed in. If I just pull this, you can see that I can just take that inner compartment out, but if I wanted to. But inside you've got these dividers, and these are quite good because you can push one of them down if you want to one side and it just folds out the way, so you haven't got to mess around with Velcro and putting them in and out. In fact, let's just take the whole thing out so you can actually see what it looks like. Much easier. Let's just move the bag out the way. You can see how this bit folds up here, and then that just velcros in as a compartment, and what you can do is have one of them down and one up, which is quite nice, or you could have them both down, give you a much bigger space. So I'm pretty happy with this. Or you can just take this out altogether and just have the bag without this inner compartment, but it fits in quite easy. You just push it in, make sure it's on the bottom, and then just velcro to the side. Much easier. And then I'll probably have one of the inner compartments up, so I've got a small side one side and a larger side on the other. So I'm pretty happy with that. The zips work really well, and this is waterproof, so if you get a bit of a downpour, the zips should keep the water out. Then you've also got a sling which is adjustable, and this particular sling has this fix in here, so you can actually get it off quite quickly if you need to. You could put this round your waist and have it as a bum bag and if that's how you like carrying it. Sometimes I do like it round the front of me actually, so I can actually just see down into it to grab the camera. But you can use it as a sling on the front of you or on the back of you. It's quite a versatile sling bag really. You can lengthen this here, so you've got quite a nice length, and you can see it's really nice. Now, in addition to this, at the bottom you've got a place to put, well, it's like a tripod set of clips. You can just loosen it off and maybe a tripod, but I think it'll be a smallish tripod rather than a large one, but nevertheless you can sling something under it, maybe a jacket or something if you've got a light raincoat and you just want to sling that underneath. I would personally, I'd probably use a small tripod if I'm travelling for videoing and vlogging, that type of thing. All in all, I think this bag is really worth it. Now I know K&F Concept sent this to me for review, but I did do, as I say, some research before they sent it to me, and this is the one that really appealed to me because of the size and because of its versatility and because of the price. And let's just give you some other details. So this bag is 32 centimeters from this side to this side, and it's 22 centimeters from the top to the bottom, and then widthways here it's 5 centimeters, and this is classed as a 10-litre bag. It's waterproof, it's scratch proof and wear resistant fabric, which I think is good. It's got flexible compartments inside, which is really good, as I've just showed you. And I think this is going to be a really convenient size bag to use. This might be my go-to bag for my London trips, etc. as well, not just for my trips abroad. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you gained something. I hope those of you that have got the Canon M50 Mark II or any of the EFM range of cameras are able to do not just street photography, not just landscape photography, but also product photography, downward shots like this, or any other type of photography. It's quite a versatile camera. So I know we've been talking about the bag, but it's the camera that I'm interested in. You're watching this actually on the Canon M6 Mark II, and actually all I've got on there is the kit lens on the Canon M6 Mark II, so that really works well. It's picking up my face really well and focusing on me, so if I move around it's following me, which is really good while I'm recording. The shots down below, just out of interest, are my with the Sony ZV1. That's just so we've got some low shots coming in on here. As a little reminder, we've been talking about the K&F Concept, or also known as KentFaith. First choice for photo and video products. You probably know K&F Concept more for the filters that they do, but they do a whole range of other products, and I'm pleased to be reviewing this particular bag, and I'd like to thank KNFC Concept or KentFaith for letting me review this bag. And if you do feel that this is something for you, there's a link down in the description that gives you a 17% discount. I think they will give that discount for a little while. Thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you on my next trip out.